Hello again, Bill Jones, recapturefederalism.com, recapturefederalism.com on the net, on YouTube, on my website, recapturefederalism.com. And this time, my presentation does give notice. I'm on YouTube, I'm suppressed. And that's what I'm going to be talking about at the beginning of this presentation. But first, we're going to give you the title and what we're going to be talking about. President Trump, Part 13, Notice of Treason, Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, we're in the Sodom and Gomorrah cycle. Sodom and Gomorrah cycle. And you go to the Bible, and what does the Bible talk about? The Old Testament and the New Testament talks about corrupt world. We're an entirely corrupt world. And sometimes it's worse than others. And there's, in Genesis all the way to Revelations, talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. That's where people are not obeying God's commandment, the Ten Commandments and other laws. Instead, they're following and embracing the seven deadly sins. The seven deadly sins. And that's what we have going on in the United States, around the world. And this next thing I got to do my oath. By the way, the oath is Exodus 27. You shall not take a false oath in the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not declare him innocent who takes an oath in his name falsely. Yeah. Exodus 20th, that's 10 Commandments. It's the third commandment, I believe. I, William R. Jones, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, so help me God. I first took that oath in July 1965 when I joined the United States Navy. The enemy then was communism, as the enemy now is communism. You can call it anything you want, but the way the Communist Manifesto was written in 1848, based upon the Communist Confession of Faith. It's atheist cult. Atheist cult. That's what I said, an atheist cult. By the way, I'm going to be talking about another cult too. The Quran, Muslims, Islamists, extremist Islamists is a cult. All of Islam, and we need to have a debate about this. But no. Suppression of debate. Suppression of different views. What is put out above all are political party supremacy. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. Woe be to the scribes and the Pharisees. Matthew 23. The seven woes. Yeah. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly trust in Jesus' name. On Christ, the solid rock, I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. And if you're Jewish, you can change it. Feel free to change it. On God, the solid rock, I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Feel free to change it. Because that's true. Because it's true. I have my chart. If I had my chart up, I'd have the free citizens class is love. John 15. in the communist criminal class as hate John 15, the second half of John 15, and how he hates. You hate Christ, you hate God before him, you hate Judaism, you hate Christians. Yeah. On God, the solid rock I stand, all the ground is sinking sand. And that's what communism is. That's what Islam is. We'll get into that. And that's what suppression is. Suppression by the media, by YouTube, Google. We have YouTube, Google. You know, they do rankings. I've never mentioned at all by my keywords. My YouTubes, I have 185 plus videos on my channel. If a month ago or so, I went through and I checked the keywords, and I checked to see where my videos were. 28th page, 29th page, 30th page. Suppression. And I have 72 subscribers. It hasn't changed over the last couple months. Even though I put, you think I'd put a video on there, I'd get one. Put 5 on there, you figure I'd get 3 or something. Nothing. 0. And what happened is, a couple weeks ago, I ran across Pamela Geller. I've heard her before. And I saw YouTube. And I subscribed to her. And then here the other day, I go back and I don't see anything from her. Wait a minute. I checked my subscription page. I'm not subscribed to her anymore. Why? I didn't take her off. And I hear one of her videos, and she's talking about she's being suppressed too. She's being suppressed too. And Dennis Prager, I don't listen to him all the time, but I listened to him one day. I was out in the car listening to him. And he's talking about him being suppressed by YouTube, Prager University, Dennis Prager University. Some of his videos. Wow. And they have Wikipedia, whatever subject it is, they're first. They come in there first. And guess what? Wikipedia is pro-communist. I did, about 3 years ago, I did a thing on Wikipedia and used them as a basis for human population control movement from the 60s. And then about a year later, about 2 years ago, a year later, from when I originally did it, I did another one and showed how they were pro-communist in that. They no longer have a human population control movement. They whitewashed that. Speaking of whitewashing, they talk a lot about white supremacy and white privilege and stuff like that. And they don't mention communism on them, a lot of this stuff. Like minimum wage. Minimum wage, that's communist. It's in the Communist Manifesto. Open borders, it's in the Communist Manifesto. The forced loans, the national debt, forced loans. It's in the Communist Manifesto. It's not. They don't mention it's communist. They don't mention the 16th Amendment is a treasonable act, was a treasonable act, is a treasonable act, it's still in effect. The Federal Reserve, a treasonable act. They don't mention it. They don't mention it. All those things I mentioned, plus others, they don't mention it's communism. It's in the Communist Manifesto. But you look up communism, and the first thing they have is a Communist Manifesto from Marxist.org. But I use the keyword communism because I talk about communism all the time. I don't know where I'm at on that. Google search terms. 185 videos all about anti-communist, and no mention of me. No mention of me. That's violation of my civil rights. Right of freedom of speech, freedom of press. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit. Page 26 of the Communist Manifesto. But communism abolishes eternal truth, it abolishes all religion and all morality. There we go again. All morality. All morality. They are operating in the 7 deadly sins. They eliminate the 10 commandments. They religious persecution, and that's what I did January 25th, 2016, when I filed notice of treason. And I did it with John Roberts, who was number 1 on the list, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, because they have Democratic Party members who are on the Supreme Court. Political party supremacy. Political party violating laws, violating the Constitution, believing that the Constitution's a flowing document. It's not a flowing document. How many times I got to tell you? And next, page 34 of the Communist Manifesto. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and agreement of the democratic parties of all countries. FDR was a communist. What? I say that. Why isn't that? Let's debate that. Let's talk about that. No. Suppress bill. Suppress bill. Suppress Pamela Geller. Suppress Dennis Prager. Suppress all we the people. All we the people. And then there's shows, even Fox, I mentioned this. They got Commie Light, Commie Heavy. Commie Light's a Republican strategist, and Communist Heavy is the Democratic strategist. They don't have Vietnam veterans and Korean War veterans and we the people, the free citizens class. They don't have those strategists. No, they're suppressed. They're suppressed. The communists, I'm back reading on page 34. But I read every time, 185 times I've read this stuff in videos. The communists disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. Let the ruling classes tremble at the communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries unite. And they've been insurrection since 1886. The forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions, that includes government, religion. They abolishes all eternal truth, abolishes all religion. Yeah, communist society. Going by the 7 deadly sins. Let the ruling classes tremble at the communistic revolution. Let the ruling classes tremble. In the United States, as we the people tremble. Tremble. They're terrorists. They're making people tremble. Terrorists. Ensure domestic tranquility. They ain't following the oath. They're taking a false oath, all the politicians, all the citizens. Now, the seven deadly sins. And we get greed. We get greed. A strong desire to gain, especially in money or power, disloyalty, deliberate betrayal, or treason, especially personal gain or when compensated, scavenging and the hoarding of materials and objects, theft and robbery by violence. Theft and robbery by violence. Treason, it's all in there. Taxation, progressive taxation, 16th Amendment. Other taxes, progressive taxes. Yeah. Progressive taxation. Now, we're going to talk about President Trump. You just did an interview with Bill O'Reilly, Super Bowl. I didn't see it. I saw the highlights of it. When you talked about, yeah, we've done some killing too. Yeah, and Bill O'Reilly, oh man, and show you how pro-communist he is, a traitor he is. I say he probably doesn't know it, but he does know it because he's public administration, a master's degree from Harvard. And as I say, I was 1966. I just demonstrated when I was in the Navy by the Harvard people, School of Communism. So he's been trained in communism. And he talks about abortion. Well, some people consider that murder. Well, if he's a Christian, and I believe he grew up being a Christian, he would know that thou shalt not kill is one of the Ten Commandments. And it's one of the Ten Commandments. 38 states have fetal homicide. It's fetal homicide. And the Congress and the Supreme Court of the United States legalized fetal homicide, nullified the state laws regarding abortion. It's genocide in accordance to, I got my Rome statutes here. Genocides mean any of the following acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Christians, Jews, okay? Imposing measures intended to prevent births within a group. That's genocide. Genocide, abortion's genocide, murder. And what? Wait a minute, we're murder. Crimes against humanity. They're doing that too. They're doing that too. Crimes against humanity include the following acts committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against a civilian population with knowledge of the attack. Well, they know it. They know it. They made an opinion. They made opinion, made laws, supremacy, political party supremacy. And what are the conditions? Murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment, torture, rape, sexual slavery, enforced prostitution, forced pregnancy, enforced sterilization, or other form of sexual violence or of comparable gravity. Persecution against an identifiable group on political, racial, national, ethnic, cultural, religious, or gender bounds. Gender bounds. And we're going to be talking about, just a second here, about Islam. Because they are not a religion, they are a cult that's involved in a lot of these murders. They're not a religion, a loving religion, a peaceful religion. They're a hate religion. Enforced disappearance of persons, crimes of apartheid, and other inhumane acts, blah, blah, blah. Now, what is a cult? A cult is a religion, a false religion, by a leader who's a false leader, false prophet, a false religious prophet. And I'm going to tell you, Islam, the Quran, I got the Quran. Why did I buy the Quran? I was looking to say, I keep hearing, peaceful religion, peaceful religion, peaceful religion. Come to find out, 10% of the book is peaceful religion, the majority of it is hate. And I knew before I bought the book that Martin Luther had read a Latin translation of the Quran back in 15 whatever. And he said it was a tool of Satan. And I'm here to tell you I agree with Martin Luther. It's a tool of Satan. And I'm going to show you how false that they are. Page, or chapter 4, verse 157. And further saying, verily we have slain the Messiah, Jesus the Son of Mary, an apostle of God. Yet they slew him not, and they crucified him not, but they had only his likeness. And they who deferred about him were in doubt concerning him. No doubt in my mind. It's a historical event. He was crucified. Christ was crucified. Christ was crucified by the Romans. It's the truth. And yet the Quran, the Muslims, the Islamic people, say he slew him not. You crucified him not. It's a lie. It's a false religion. Muhammad was a false prophet. And what do you have when you have a hate religion? You come up with your own laws, false laws. Sharia law is a false law. Violates the Constitution, and yet the Democrats are bringing in, we can have Sharia law. We can honor Sharia law. Over my dead body, probably. Over my dead body. And you're going to suppress what I'm saying. You're going to suppress what I'm saying. I'm talking about religious persecution. I'm a Christian. I'm being persecuted. My Jewish brothers are being persecuted. By a cult. Committing genocide over in those countries over there. Some of those countries, 7 countries. Islamic people. We're trying to keep out of here. And what do you got? They got the phony courts. And Congress, that's why I sent the treason, notice the treason, to Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader. Why would I do that? Because in the Constitution, they should be impeaching people who aren't following the law, who aren't following the Constitution, like these judges, like the Supreme Court judges of 1973. Throw their asses out and get them out of the robes, throw them in jail. And with that, I'm going to be gone. Goodbye.